That was the Travis and Some Flowers Through My Window. This is XFM 104.9 of a Saturday afternoon, just gone 6 minutes past 1. I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Steve Merchant.
Hello there, hi. Good to talk to you.
Karl Pilkington is over there.
Alright.
Hey, keeps it real.
Yeah.
Respect, Karl.
Oh.
Rick, I just think, you know, we want to lift off the show straight away.
Yeah.
Into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And, the best way to do that, it seemed to me, was to resurrect a game we used to play when we first began the show in old XFM days. Do you remember the game? Do you remember the game Make Ricky Gervais
Rub Me Hard.
Rub You Hard?
No.
No, that was only in the pilot. We never actually did that on live.
Okay, right.
No, it was the game Make Ricky Gervais Laugh.
Oh, I remember,
We used to get people, Karl, you probably didn't hear it, we used to get people to sort of send in pictures and, jokes and stuff. And if I could make Ricky laugh on air with those,
he won a toffee.
Then they won a gift of some kind.
Yeah.
Anyway, a lot of emails actually say people love your laugh, Rick. So in a sense, we're giving the public what they want.
They must be taking the mickey.
But this is a picture I found in today's copy of The Sun, so if you're listening at home and you want to know what the picture looks like, rush out and buy a copy, only 40p.
Yeah.
And,
are we sponsored by The Sun? We do White Van Man.
Exactly. It amused me straight away, this, because bear in mind,
right,
it is one of the world's biggest rock stars.
Okay.
Just check out the face.
Oh, that's fantastic!
Look at that.
Oh, that is Michael Stipe. Oh dear, with sort of like looking like, I don't know, some sort of Nazi officer. That's not libelous.
That's not libelous. In your opinion, Michael Stipe,
yeah,
he's outside there during the press conference for Peter Buck's.
It's not a good picture. I love R.E.M. and I love Michael Stipe. I think he's a lovely man, but that's a bad picture, isn't it?
He's got big glasses on and stubble, obviously still blonde. He doesn't appear to be looking at anything. He's looking right beyond everyone else. Can you see that, Karl? I'll tell you who he looks like. He looks like Zig, I think, from Zig and Zag. He looks like he's a Muppet made of foam.
Oh, lovely.
Nice to see that game come back.
Yeah, the medium of radio.
Yeah.
Oh, what a good picture that is. I hope you enjoyed it. Coming up soon, we've got Sir David of Bowie, Nicholas Cave, and Travis, Flowers in the Window again. Play a song. So I left a sequence to go in.
Yeah. Popped out for a coffee.
Yeah. I don't want to diss the funny little French lads.
Sure.
But, you know.
Try harder.
Are they French?
Yeah, oh god, yeah.
Sorry.
Do you speak much French, Rick?
I speak un peu. Yeah.
I can ask, where is the Tourist Information Bureau? And, I can express my preference in music tastes, and I can order an Orangina, and that's all I can do.
I know, Bière, blonde. Press the on, I think. That means, draft your French.
Tu aimes la musique folk?
Oh, that's filthy. So what that means, Karl?
No, go on.
Really dirty. Really dirty.
Tu aimes la musique folk?
Yeah, you dirty. you filthy little
Frenchie. Alright. But, do you know much French, Karl?
Have you got any fromage?
That'd work.
That's cheese or fish.
It's cheese. It's cheese.
Would you not care which one you were given? You like both?
I think
that's a whole different kettle of poisson.
Yeah. I just think when you're in a country, you should have a little go.
Yeah, well,
that's a very little go.
Yeah. You mean like football hooligans have a little go? What do you mean?
You know, try and have a go at their their language.
Well, what I do is I go in there and I point and talk a bit louder than usual in perfect English, and if they don't get it, I go mental.
Exactly.
Securing the fact that I've tried my best and they're having a laugh.
And that is the prerogative of all Englishmen.
Or just point
and shout.
Yeah, point and shout. Don't forget, you know, because you can never be foreign if you're English anywhere. No, they're speaking funny. Just remember that. Yeah?
Yeah.
God save us. Sorry, go on then. You were going to say something else.
Yeah. That picture you were showing me.
Yeah.
I wish we could post one on the website of Karl. Remember we won an award ages ago. What was it called? The British Radio Authority Award.
Yeah.
And, we made Karl get in the picture, and he was a bit reticent, a bit nice, but his head is perfectly circular. I put a coin on it, and only the ears popped out from behind the coin. Isn't it perfectly round, isn't it?
I mean, when you've been saying I've got a round head, I was a bit like, yeah, everyone has, stop having a go.
Yeah.
And then I saw this picture last week, I thought, God, he's right.
Can't we just pop it on the XFM website?
I'd rather not.
I'll go on, just
Steve,
get someone.
Have you seen that man in a jar without a brain?
Sorry, is that something? Is that a product you can buy? In like Sainsbury's?
Is it a dream you had yesterday?
Man in
You
a
wondered
jar.
if you can I, yes, hello, could you make my dream into reality, please? Oh, we can't actually, sir. In, plastic would be good.
Sorry, what do you mean?
In the future, you'll be able to download your dreams and then just, like, act them out again, probably, in the year 2000 or something.
Soothsayer.
No, there's some museum somewhere
Yeah.
that's got this little fella who was born without a brain, and he's in a jar, and it's just like he's got a really round head.
Right.
And when I saw this picture, I thought, God, it just reminded me of this little fella in a jar.
Oh, and what do you mean he's born without a brain?
He was born without a brain.
So it's a baby?
It's not a little fella.
Yeah, but it's weird.
Do you know the difference? Do you have conversations with, like, people in prams thinking, that fella's little, and he doesn't talk much?
Yeah.
You know babies aren't, like, little people.
Well, maybe...
Well, they are little people, but I mean, they're not very small adults. They're not like midgets.
They don't do a job of work, is what we're saying.
Yeah, you're very, no. What do you mean?
I didn't read about it, I just saw the picture. And
This
it
is
looked
where
like
you're
a
going
man.
wrong, Carl. This is always your mistake. You see the picture, you don't read the little caption.
But what do you mean? How do you think-
guess at what you think the meaning
But how did you know he didn't have a brain?
He said something like the brainless man.
Yeah, but people say that about you. It doesn't mean you haven't got a spinal cord.
I bet somebody's seen it and knows what I mean. It's a famous picture. It's
Right,
like-
call in 08700 800 1234. Once again, you win a prize if you can tell us what Karl is talking about. Just in general. It's an ongoing competition. We're trying to find some CDs to anyone who knows what Karl is talking about. Vegas 2 times. Well, we've had calls confirming that there was indeed, a fetus, or a stillborn child.
A pickled baby.
A pickled baby. No wonder it died. Born without a brain. But everyone has, you know, pointed out that it wasn't a little fella.
It certainly wasn't a little fella.
No.
But because it had been in the jar for a long time, I think it had aged a bit.
What are you basing that on?
You do carry on growing, yeah.
of course.
Yeah.
Your ears and your nose.
Your ears and your nose. And your eyes don't grow, so,
Yeah.
you could probably, yeah.
I'll dig it out for you.
Yeah.
Imagine if, like, there was an experiment where they were raising a child just based on the information that we said on the radio. What kind of a person
It was like
would they
download,
be?
yeah. And
What kind of information would they
and
have?
it took everything literally.
Exactly.
And I think, yeah, there's no irony or, yeah, it was just...
They just, everything we said they assumed was fact. Everything that Carl said
And
they
any
assumed was
question it had about the world, it could only ask Karl.
Exactly.
And it would
See,
be
now,
his-
this worries me because without wishing to be disrespectful in any way, Carl, you know I think you're the best man on earth. When you have a child, we could be in a situation a bit like that. Do you know, is it a concern for you, do you think, that, like, when your son's growing up, or your daughter, and they're asking you questions, you're conscious, I mean, you yourself have admitted that
Yeah,
you have a sphere of knowledge which you are an expert on.
Ask your mother.
You'd say ask your mother.
That's good.
That's great, fair enough.
That's good.
And I'd play with it. I think I'd be a good dad.
Yeah, I think you would.
But I wouldn't be the one who's shouting at it.
No.
I'd
Who would you
like
get to
that
shout at?
later.
Probably Windsor Davis. He'd be good, wouldn't he? You horrible little man!
Well, you know, I'd tell it the rights and wrong. You don't have to be a really bright person to know the rights and wrong in the world.
Yeah.
No, I think you are bright, Karl.
You are. And at what point in their life would you tell them about the evolution of the baguette? Which you told us.
Or the story of the bee.
Yes.
That you scored once.
Or the 2 children. Would you ever get them to meet as maybe like that? They could be godparents. The friends you had at school.
Yeah,
with webbed hands.
the big heads and
Big
webbed
heads.
They
hands.
weren't my friends.
That weren't friends.
I wish we could track them down.
Oh, that'd be great.
I imagine they're in a zoo. Oh wow.
Oh,
Yeah.
2 big
That's
jars.
Safari Park, yeah.
2 big jars. Industrial strength jars. Oh, dear.
Man.
Guess what?
Go on.
This is one of our last shows. We're going away, I'm afraid, on the, 4th of May, isn't it?
I can't remember.
That's our last show, the 4th of May.
Yeah, not forever.
I brought a downer on the whole thing then,
Yeah.
didn't I? There's people cheering. Well, guess who's taken over from us? And I found this out. I was watching Liquid News the other night.
Right.
No one had called me. Zoe Ball.
Well, she's a good presenter, but is this confirmed?
I don't know. How should I have said that?
Is this true?
Yeah, I think so. Oh, yeah, you've done it now.
Yeah.
She was in the other day. You watched it on the telly, so...
Yeah.
But what annoys me is, this is rather like when we got, according to last week's Media Guardian, we got rapped for saying the word cock on the radio. And, well, we never did we? We had to read that on the internet. No one never told us
That just slipped out of your mouth, didn't it?
What's that, cock?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway.
And, now we don't even get told face to face that Zoe Ball's gonna take over.
Yeah, but it was only, like, sorted out the other day, and then when I saw you...
We're allowed to say
yesterday-
ball, aren't we?
Yeah. When I saw
Right.
you yesterday, I said, yeah, it's...
So we're not allowed to say...
Oh...
No, I'm not going to say the word, and we're not going to say we're not allowed to say we are allowed to say the male bird is a cock, we're not allowed to say the other one, but we are allowed to say bull.
Yeah.
What if her and her dad, Bobby, would we be able to say a pair of balls? We'd be able to say that, and I don't know.
I don't think he's part of the deal. So you don't need to.
In fact, if she's listening, call in and confirm it. We'd let her on the air, won't we? As long as she doesn't swear.
Yeah, don't be rude.
Yeah, don't be rude, Zoe.
Lou.
Yeah.
Don't be cheap, basically.
Better warn as well not to leave too much, nothing lying around. Because it'll be gone. Especially if it's skag. Funny Men. Killing Moon. Good to hear that again.
Yes.
On XFM 104.9.
Who are you?
I'm Ricky Gervais. Who are you?
Steve Merchant.
Who's that funny little round-headed fellow over there?
Karl Pilkington.
Pilkers.
Well, she hadn't called, so mustn't be true.
I just didn't think we were, being disrespectful to her, because we both think she's a fine presenter, and I think she'd do very well on there, and I think it's a good move as well.
Yeah, but can you just say it's not forever?
Isn't it?
No,
I think she'll become more popular than us.
And I think that'll be the end of us, to be honest.
Well, she can string a sentence together.
I think she'll get lots of PR and everything, and she goes out with Big Boy Slim.
Big Boy Slim.
Who's, you know...
A good DJ.
He's a good DJ. And, is her name Zoe Slim now?
Yeah.
Right. And, you know, there will be nothing. It's 3 months, isn't it, she's taken over for? Is she getting paid the same as us?
I don't know.
We'll find out.
I bet it's a hell of a lot more.
I'll go mental.
I bet it's good money. It's good money.
I'll go mental.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. What are you gonna do?
I'm,
for 3 months.
I'm gonna have Saturdays off.
Is she, are you gonna present with her? Are you gonna come on and press the buttons?
He's not allowed.
No, I hope not, because, you know, you're our whipping boy, co-presenter.
Yeah. You're like our little fella in a jar.
Yeah.
It's
that's what we should do with you over the 3 months. Keep it in a jar, and we can have it in alternate weeks. Like step-parents or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great, wouldn't it?
Brilliant. Just you can.
Oh, me and Steve will fight for custody.
Yeah, it'll be a big jar though. You can put stuff in there.
You can have it. Won't be like full of water or vinegar or whatever they do.
You won't become Pickled Carl.
No. It'd be like an big air chamber, and you're sat there, and it'd be like a little. What would it be, an armchair or something? It'd
be in an armchair, and we'd have stuff in there, and we'd bring your girlfriend like once a week, and she'd go. No, we put a blanket over the top so we wouldn't, you know, see anything.
But like the Big Brother household.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, that's a hell of a documentary.
Oh, that'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Karl in a jar.
But anyway, that's what. So we're going away on the 4th of May for 12 weeks.
It's a long time, isn't it?
We were doing the second series of The Office, so we can't be around, I'm afraid. And Zoe Ball's standing in for us. And
that can't be right. She's not. I don't think you can say standing in for us.
Isn't that right?
Taking over the show, I think, would be fair to say.
I don't know. I can't say anything now, can you? I'm worried about that. Just because he goes up with Big Boy Slim, you got to be careful what you say.
Yeah. Karl, you look upset.
He's starting to think that we're getting melancholy now, that you're just gonna sit at home. What are you gonna do every Saturday?
Dunno. Go shopping.
Let's sort out a jar. You've got to do the balloons before then as well. You've got to send you up in a balloon. Maybe you can send you up in a balloon and you come straight down into a big jar.
Yeah.
And they put
a giant cork in straight away.
yeah, and there's a big chair.
I'll tell you what we could do. We could set you adrift like Robinson Crusoe set the ball and see where you end up.
If you find me, yeah. Oh, you might go to an uninhabited island or something.
I'll tell you something learned in the week.
Go on.
Just reminded me there about going up in the air.
Go on.
Right, if cars could drive up, it only took an hour to get into space.
Which is great.
Going how fast?
About 50 miles an hour.
You just made that up, didn't you? You just guessed that. You just guessed it. You just said about 50.
Yeah,
see, this is what worries me. If you have a son or a daughter, age 50, he's gonna be out in the street with a ramp pointing into the sky.
Dad, how long do elephants live? About 1,000 years. 1,000 or something.
I wouldn't say.
Dad, how much can an ant lift? About a quarter of a kilogram, probably. About 2 bags of sugar.
If you guess, it's not fact.
Yeah. Just because you thought it, that doesn't make it fact. Does anyone know how long it'd take a car going 50 miles an hour?
People are phoning in about anything now, Rick.
Yeah.
We asked them to phone in about the jar thing. Switchboard lit up. It's crazy. You asked them to phone in about, like, you know, something sensible, like Che Guevara, or, you know, the life of Winston Churchill. There's nothing.
That is really a demographic sort of snapshot of our fans.
Our audience.
Ask them about a dead baby without a brain.
Oh, yeah.
And they're reaching for their phones. They don't mind what their bill is that much.
We ask them for, you know, I don't know, great quotes, or something mimic the great philosophers, nothing.
They're just
asking
looking
them
at the
where
phone.
to buy, meths, cheap. Straight on the phone.
Oh, you know the quotes that Ricky gave me last week and I turned them down?
Yeah.
I got home, girlfriend had a go at me.
They don't know you turned him down. What you know is that he said he didn't want to take the book at the end of the show, he said, I'm not taking it, it's too difficult. I'm gonna go and get a nice one, and go on, carry on.
So I went home, and Suzanne said, where's the book? She was really looking forward to having a look at it. I said, oh, I gave it him back, I wasn't up for that. And yet, last week I was ill and stuff, I wasn't in the mood for learning.
Yeah.
So I'm not having it. She goes, this is where you went wrong at school.
Oh.
She said, this is exactly where you went wrong. She said, you know, you liked infants. You liked, you know, you're colouring in and you're painting stuff. She said, but as soon as it gets to the heavy stuff, you just, you know, you're like a horse with its blinkers on.
Yeah.
So you just shut yourself away. So I said, no, I could have done it if I wanted to. So anyway, we went and bought a quotations book, so I have got some quotes.
Yeah, what's the quotation book you bought? So I was asking him to, read Keats and Wilde, Wordsworth, Shakespeare. What did you buy?
It's quotes with, like, Eric and Ernie and that in it. No, but it's still quotes.
They're still quotes.
The Sesame Street book of quotes. Brilliant.
They're
still valid. No, it's a starting point.
Oh.
It's a starting point.
Okay.
Well, we'll have some quotes.
We'll have some of that after
We've got a
yeah.
lot more to get through before
We've got a bit in the order.
Better in your order.
Excellent. On XFM 104.9, someone, I love our listeners, I really do, right? Someone just called in and said, it's about putting, he went, hello? Karl answers the phones. And I said, hello? He went, hello? He said, yeah, about putting Karl in a big jar, and Karl went, go on. And the bloke went, well then you could call him Karl Pilkington. And he went, thanks. I love them bothering. I like Karl Pilkington. That's lovely. That's so sweet. He spent 50p to tell you that, and you were worried. You just saw you going up in a balloon and landing in a jar again, didn't you? What have you gone through yet? You've had nothing but good feedback from this show now, and now you're just getting all worried, aren't you? Heat magazine say you're a genius. You've got your picture in that Extracts magazine with a little round head. You have Jaffa cakes. I gave him a £5 the other week to buy biscuits. He's having the time of his life.
Yeah.
This is his best day. This must be your best 2 hours of the week.
I enjoy it, yeah. It's alright sometimes.
Yeah? What's better regular than this for you? What's a better 2 hours a week? Sleep doesn't count.
Actually, you're probably right, it might be this.
Yeah?
Yeah. Or, about 24 thing's good.
Right.
Like that.
Probably worth mentioning.
Suzanne.
Yeah, your girlfriend.
Yeah, well that goes without saying, doesn't it?
Oh, he's done it. He's pulled it round. He's pulled it round. He's a charmer.
If you could come in and sit in the corner, then yeah, it would be the best time ever.
That's pretty sweet, actually.
Oh.
She's not even in London at the moment.
Oh, so
You
you want
have
then?
to say that.
You
Yeah.
have to say it, and you did anyway.
Yeah. That's lovely.
She might be listening to
Yeah, it's Sky Digital, isn't it? There's always that. There's always
that danger.
Yeah. Anyway, Steve, over to you.
I just was wondering, because I've had an exciting week, relatively speaking, Rick, because instead of just spending it all with you, sat in a little room, as is our way, I've been doing some acting this week, as you know.
I know.
And I don't normally act, but I, basically there's some people at the BBC who are making a comedy pilot, kind of comedy TV show. And, you know, and I auditioned for it, and the role was to play a sort of freaky looking, sort of lanky geek, you know, and I don't want to say...
How did you beat off?
I don't want to sound arrogant, Rick, but they gave me the job on the spot. You know, so it was like, you know, obviously I'm, you know, because I'm not a bad actor, I'm not as good as Rick, but I'm, you know,
What is it?
I play a really tall guy, like a sort of...
That's the part though, isn't it? About, you've got a beard.
I'm a character who's 6'7" tall, and I'm trying to win the world's tallest man.
That's it, yeah.
But there's always a man that beats me every year because he's slightly taller. But this year, I think for some reason, because I've been training, I can beat him.
That's the conceit.
Sally Phillips, I don't know if you know Sally Phillips, she's a very good comedy writer and actress, and she's written it. So it was good fun, and so I went down there, and it was good and everything. It was, you know, a little trailer and everything. It was like the proper deal. It was really good. And the problem was yesterday, I had to dance. One of the sequences had me dancing. Now, as you know, I think I'm a pretty groovy dancer. I'm a bit of a mover.
Yeah.
And I have to tell you this, Rick.
Do you have anyone's eye out with your elbow?
I have come to some serious realizations about my dancing.
Really?
I was moving around like a shire horse dancing.
Really?
It was terrible. I was just like quick, and they had this choreographer trying to show me some moves, and it was just...
He was just like crying by the end of it.
It was
They were, yeah.
It was so bad, but the worst thing about it is, today, my whole body is ravaged with pain and agony. I'm utterly devastated by the agony of it. Trying to get down the stairs this morning, I swear to God, I look like Thor Hurd. trying to hobble that. It was mad. I was like, I'd had several hip replacements. I was like, I had to go down at an angle, going down the stairs. It was ludicrous, and I was really worried. Suddenly I'm thinking, because I thought I was pretty fit and pretty groovy and everything, and I had been discussing with this mate of mine, my housemate, that we should maybe start doing some exercise, because I'm putting on a little bit of weight, right? He's quite a thin, tall guy. He has a belly. I don't know how to summarise it. Have you ever seen the film Junior with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Yeah. It looks like that. Really? It's like grotesque. So the two of us, so we decided that we were going to do some exercise together, right? This is what we're going to do. Each morning we were going to get up, we were going to exercise together. That won't happen. Right, well no, but wait Rick, you see you're wrong, because a couple of days ago I said to him, listen, what we should do is get one of those like health videos, you know, those kind of training videos, what they called like, I don't know, they might have an aerobics thing or a sort of hour-long workout. And I said to him, get one of the ones that's hosted by like, Pauline Quirk. Elle Macpherson or Cindy Crawford, you know, someone like that, someone sexy, right? So, I swear to God, we went down this morning, we put it on, right? Just want you to picture this scene, right? It's me and my mate in our shorts, right? 9 o'clock in the morning, working out. You didn't actually do it. To Helen from Big Brother's video, right? It was the cheapest one, Steve, you told me. Thanks very much, mate. We saw that advertised as well. Working out, right? And the two of us in our shorts, she's there, like, you know, she's the closest there is to a living Homer Simpson, right, shouting out and stuff. I just wanted to be reassured, Rick. There's nothing gay about that, is there? There's nothing a touch kind of fruity about that image. No, I mean, the ones you'd avoid would be sort of Liza Minnelli workout. Cher. Graham Norton, obviously. Yeah. Dale Winton. Gay Byrne. Right, sure. He's not gay. No. But, I mean, the name's a little bit gay, isn't it? Yeah. So I think Helen from Big Brother, you're probably safe. Who else? I don't know what else to tell you, really. But I mean, because I know you've got a personal trainer. I'm obviously not in that kind of state. There's kind of states at the moment. I don't have that kind of cash. No. But, you know, I'm obviously quite excited. What have I got to look forward to? Do I go through a my trainer, Pink Eric, we call him. Yeah. No, I sort of box a little bit. But what I'm saying is, do you go through a pain barrier? No, I stopped way before that. Right. And I'll sit down and have a beer. Right. There's no point in going through pain, because it'll just put you off. Sure. So, if you start feeling any sort of pain, or any, breathlessness, or any aches, sit down immediately. Now, is it right that he's worked out a special routine for you where you don't have to get up? Yeah, well, he actually said, I remember the first, I got my food diary, and he was looking at it, and I could see he sort of feared it. He feared taking on this challenge. And this is a true quote. At one point, he said, right, okay, cut cheese down to 5 times a week then. I must have haggled from 4. Cheese down to 5 times a week. And it's sort of like, I'm my own worst enemy. Because if I cut out cheese and beer, I would just lose weight. Like, it would drop off me in a month. So what I'm doing, I'm fighting it all the time. I haven't changed my sort of eating and drinking habits, but I now work out 3 times a week. It is an uphill struggle, Steve. Yeah, of course. It's just so you're just keeping it an even keel. I know. Well, yeah. So I can live longer to eat more cheese and beer. Do you exercise, Carl? Do you do any exercise whatsoever? I used to go to a gym in town, but it wasn't the sort of the hard work of doing the, the stuff. It was just like, it was like 60 quid a month. Yeah. I thought, well, crazy, isn't it? That's not good. So I just got out of my way to sort of walk everywhere. Do you know what I mean? Instead of jumping on a bus, like a nice day like today, walk into work. Or, run up the stairs. You're skinny though. You run up the stairs? What? You're really skinny though. No, but I do eat a lot of, like, crappy food, so I reckon, I mean, what did they say? When you get to 30, it all just... You go mental, don't you? Yeah, they say that, play record. That's the philosophers, isn't it? When you get to 30, you go mental. No, Descartes. Yeah, I think so, yeah. Play record. Better Bowie? Oh, yeah, I brought this in. You'll love this, Steve. Oh, you know this, I think, I'm sure. This is, a great Bowie track off Aladdin Sane, one of my favourite albums. And this is Lady Grinning Soul. I'm Carl. Yeah, exactly. You've not lost interest, have you, Rick? No, of course I haven't. Okay. Go on. It's silly to, I've said it once, I was a bit bored with just saying your names. Okay. I don't mind saying mine, because I'm sort of interested in that. Yeah, sure. But the other ones are sort of more of a chore. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing in it for me. Yes, there's no actual... I'd rather not mention either of you. Okay. So, if you want to do it, from now on. Yeah. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, obviously, still got plenty to come. We've obviously got some great music, Rick, and that's... I've got, a bit of Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. Actually, an album you introduced me to, and I'm gonna play, Into My Arms. Looking forward. And you know how beautiful that song is. That's true enough. Yeah. But, I was talking about this little bit of acting I was doing yesterday, and, not wishing to be disrespectful to anyone that was involved, but there was, obviously some extras or supporting artists, as I believe they're known. And, you know, all good, lovely people, really putting the effort in, doing good work and everything. But there's just one guy I was stood next to, and, you know, he's quite a tall guy, not quite as tall as me, but tall guy. You know, quite a good looking bloke or whatever. And, I just sat there, and he obviously gets quite boring because there's a lot of just hanging around and people waiting and stuff, fixing lights. I just stood next to him, and he just went, oh, he was looking for something to say to me, obviously, and he went, looking forward to the new Guns N' Roses album? And I went, I didn't realise there was one on the way, actually. He went, yeah, obviously they, Slash won't be in it, because obviously Slash is no longer with them, but, bloody hell, Sweet Child of Mine, one of my favourites, just started singing some of the songs. I went, okay, great.
Without irony, I assume.
Without irony. He was just wanting to get onto the discussion of Guns N' Roses, but I'll tell you this, he did not look like a rocker in any way. He looked like a bloke who would work in sort of an accountancy, agency, or Barclays, behind the counter, something like that. Very well scrubbed, well groomed.
So there's nothing wrong with Barclays or the people who work therein.
That's true enough.
Okay.
So he goes, yeah, I mean, I got into them with Appetite for Destruction, the classic first album, but I even, you know, I enjoyed the Spaghetti Incident as well. I mean, I like all of them. Yeah. And I'm like, right, okay. And he goes, I said to him, have you ever seen them live or anything? He went, I have not seen them live, no, but I was lucky enough to be at Donington, Monsters of Rock, and, Slash's Snake Pit was playing, which was Slash's solo effort.
Yeah.
And he went, I've never been to, those live gigs before, and, I was down in the mosh pit. Oh, man, I was down there, and I'll tell you this, have you been in the mosh pit? I went, oh, no. He goes, oh, it's crazy down there. It's wild. A guy threw a punch at me, I punched him, knocked him straight out. He knocked me out, so this fight went off. Oh, it was amazing, I went, you're gonna go back? He went, no, I won't, because once you've done something like that, you can never repeat the experience, you know. I mean, everyone there was dressed in black. I think I was the only guy wearing a white t-shirt. I was like, okay, I could just imagine him tucked in as well.
That's why they attacked him. Exactly. It's like ants.
Yeah.
They
Slash himself.
Yeah, there's a termite in the nest.
Exactly.
And they just turned on him.
But so I'm going, okay, so do you go to gigs often? He went, no, I don't think I'm ever gonna go to another rock gig. And I said to him, why? And he went, I don't think any gig I go to will be able to top the experience of seeing UB40 live. And do you know what I mean? And I almost did what you did.
That's why I've never seen him live, because I don't want to end my life.
But I almost laughed. I thought it was a joke. I thought he was making a joke, and I was about to laugh, and I realised he was deadly serious, and I went,
UB40.
Oh, good were they? He went, absolutely blinding. One of the most incredible live experiences I've ever seen.
I imagine. Did they do songs in a sort of mock reggae style?
Apparently they
2 hours.
And then he began to tell me which of his favourite, he went, I don't know if, I said, have they done anything recently, or brought anything out? He went, I don't think they're gonna be able to top, those classic albums, Bag of Riddim, and Rat in the Kitchen. I
remember once when I went to sign on, okay, and I don't know what year it was, must have been like 1979 or something, and, my first, I left school, and, tell me if I'm wrong if it wasn't out then, but this bloke was at the back with sort of like a ghetto blaster, and he was playing 1 in 10.
Right.
Obviously making a point, he was in the dole office. Yeah. Everyone ignored him, and when it finished playing, he turned it down. And he took a number and queued.
The days when they were a protest.
When was that? What year was that? What year did someone can pinpoint that for me. Phone in 08700 800 1234. I know it just come out.
But what was amazing is when he said that about UB40 being the best live experience I've ever seen, it was one of those moments where you thought, I never thought I'd hear someone say that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't know why I can't understand what kind of person you are. I suddenly realised at that moment there was such a chasm between us.
Is there anyone out there whose favourite band is UB40? Red Wine, maybe. UB40, yeah. Oh, they're a great bunch of blokes though, you see, and they crack me up when I see them interviewed, they're really funny. But, once you've heard one, that's pretty much it, isn't it?
Absolutely.
I imagine. I mean, I don't know, maybe I'm a Philistine.
Maybe there's some hidden depths to them that we don't understand, maybe some great tracks that you could, if you're a big fan.
Well, I'm never gonna go and see him, because, why sort of like top your experiences?
Exactly.
You know?
Because you know you're gonna better it.
When I know I'm definitely dying, I'm gonna go.
You'll summon them to play for you. Get me Labour of Love live.
Do Right in the Kitchen. Now. Lovely, that one.
Brilliant, isn't it? The acoustic version of Just Like Heaven from The Cure's double CD.
I'm loving it.
Collection.
Now, again, I broke the rules in the week. I met up with Karl. I had lunch with him. And we were chatting, and having a cup of tea, and it got onto one of Karl's favourite programmes, was the Tales of the Unexpected.
Ah, of course.
And all I can think is that he's probably the only person in Britain where they were unexpected. I mean, to him, when that twist came in, and you go, gee, I can't...
Yeah.
Oh God!
Can't believe
So it was the tree that did it. I mean, he was probably the only. And we were telling all these stories of horror, and he liked horror stories. And I told him this story, and I don't know if this had come across the radio, but I told him this story. It was a short. It was a horror short.
This was a film you saw, was it?
Yeah, yeah. And what it was, it started off just there'd been a car crash. You see, it's a horrendous wreck, and you saw it from the point of view of the person in the car, and he was calling for his mate, and he was going, Dave. And he sort of looked over and saw a body without a head that had been thrown at you. He goes, oh no, Dave. And then into the field of view came Dave, his mate, and looked at him with a look of horror, and then it sort of went black and you realised that he was just a head, and it had been his body.
Oh wow.
Right?
Yeah.
And I said, then it came up at the end, at the, executions in the French Revolution, people experience consciousness for, you know, and he went, oh, no, he said, it wouldn't be for that long. And then he went, if it was a chicken, it would work. Imagine remaking that film, but it's two chickens in horrendous car crash.
Their own fault for driving.
It would work. No, he wasn't having that.
Yeah.
No, it was too long. I think he said, how long was this film? I went, oh, no, 5 minutes. He went, no. It would work if it was a chicken.
I like the way that Carl is something like, when you relate an incident like that, he's appalled and offended and annoyed by the people that made it, even though he's never seen it.
Oh, he's annoyed, yeah. Like, you have it.
I want to see it. I think it's a good idea.
Yeah.
But they should have thought it through a bit more.
Yeah. Do you have a favourite, Tales of the Unexpected, one that you remember particularly that shook you up?
Yeah, we were talking about the one on, where, there's some woman in prison. Have you seen that one?
No, I can't remember them all.
Right. This woman's in prison.
Yeah.
And, she gets a bit friendly with the guy who takes the dead bodies out.
Right.
And, he said, I can get you out of here. So what you've got to do, right, you've got to, I don't know, at midnight.
When you hear the bell toll, that means there's been a dead body.
Yeah, there's been a dead body. So what you've got to do is go into, like, the, place where all the dead bodies are, get in the first coffin on the right, and then I'll come along and carry you out and you can run away and escape, right? So she goes, yeah, alright then. So she hears the bell go.
I'll bury you, right? And then I'll come back later and dig you up.
Right.
Yeah, but
that's the point.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. Trust me, Carl, it really matters.
Okay.
Listen, I don't know if I'm going to ruin this for people at home.
Yeah.
Can I just skip to the end? I would imagine that she gets buried and he doesn't come back, and she has to get buried alive.
Better than that.
Okay.
Yeah, she does it. She gets into the coffin.
Yeah, shh.
Go on.
Right. So she gets in the coffin, and she's lying there for ages.
She's buried.
You can feel a bit of movement going on, so she's obviously, you know, being carried somewhere, so she's thinking, this is it, I'm getting out. And she's lying there for ages and thinking, why isn't someone coming and lifting the lid off this? Do you know what I mean? Letting me get out. So she's really bored. She gets a lighter out, right? Lights it to have a look at who she's lying on. It's only the fella who said he'd help escape.
Oh.
How bad is that?
That is... How bad is that?
So it is quite important that she's buried alive then, isn't it? In retrospect, you realise that the jeopardy is that she is buried alive and can't get out. Yeah. It makes it so much worse, doesn't it, than just like lying in the morgue and going, actually, I'm getting out of here.
Yeah.
This isn't gonna work.
Look at Carl's face, having told that, he's so pleased. His face is lit up, he's beaming like a child.
Have you seen any?
Is that your favourite horror thing ever?
That's a good one. And
let's see if anyone knows what the finger is. When that bloke was under the ground, wiggling his finger.
We're talking about one with, some fella who's stuck in the ground or something.
This is a motif I noticed in your particular favourite ones.
Yeah.
Right.
People stuck in the ground. Go on.
Right, so it's
a fella, isn't it?
A fella stuck. Now, I seem to remember it just being his foot, to be honest, being stuck in a hole.
No, he was under the ground and he got a little thing out of the pavement and he put his finger up and wiggled it to try and attract attention. Then you see a woman come along and her stiletto heel just knocks his finger off.
You see, I'm wondering whether it's the same one as I saw.
Yeah, it could be two like that, couldn't there?
They were running out of ideas by the last series.
It's a big theme in Hollywood.
Or, what was that one you told me about with the porn? That was a good one.
Oh, this was fantastic, right? Right. There was this,
Sorry, can I just check now? We're just remembering classic episodes of the Tales of the Unexpected.
This is important. Well, I saw one, right? I saw one, on Tales of the Unexpected, right? And it was, these two gents, what they used to do, they look down the obituaries, and they'd blackmail, the wife or the son of a dead eminent person, like might be a priest or a doctor, and they'd go and they'd say, he bought some, erotic, stuff from us, before he died, and he owes 100 guineas and all this sort of stuff, and they'd pay up because it'd be so embarrassing. They just didn't want them to say, just pay him, you know. And this one bloke said, who are these people? I'll meet with them. And he goes round there, and he goes round, and they go, your father, he goes, my father could not have bought any erotic material from you. No, he did, he goes, he couldn't have, he's blind. Right, and that was the twist. And Karl went, so it was magazines, not videos then.
Yeah. Now think about it, Steve. Is that so stupid?
Well, presumably it was set in olden times because people, professional pornographers don't tend to call it, you know, erotic material.
Yeah.
They tend to call it, you know, juicy jugs or whatever. But more than that, I don't understand how a video is going to be any use to a blind person either. I know that you can hear the sound, Karl. I hear him nodding like you sort me out.
Yeah, what sound will you hear? Do. Your meter needs looking at? Yes. Cut. What's then? What's that? Then it's just noises, isn't it?
Occasional groans.
Yeah.
Right.
You could listen through the wall at your neighbours.
He does.
I mean, that's why I save a lot of money. But I thought you were going to point out, Karl, that they could have had a Braille porno. I hadn't thought of that.
Look, feel the lumps on that.
Exactly. Think about it, Karl.
Think about it.
You're excited now.
Yeah.
Your girlfriend's away, Karl.
Yeah, the cheese grate is only under the cupboard.
No, she's a good-looking lady.
Yeah. Well, it's time. Well,
go on.
That time, isn't it?
Yeah. Play the jingle.
Yeah. White van man, Karl.
Brilliant. Recorded at great expense, that jingle.
Yeah,
this is where we just hijack an idea from The Sun, which is White Van Man, where The Sun asks, in this instance, a cabbie by the look of it. Oh no, a fruit and veg shop owner.
Ours is slightly different because The Sun sort of like pick on a perfectly normal member of the public.
Exactly.
So that's where we've got the
upper hand.
Yeah.
And they ask him about the you know, the hot potatoes. This week, Karl, my first question to you, well, your thoughts please on the criticism of the BBC over their coverage of the Queen Mum's death. What do you make of this? You're aware of all the criticism that Peter Sissons asked some probing questions?
No, I thought it
wore a burgundy tie.
I thought that's it. Yeah, he just had it didn't show respect. He just had a burgundy tie on.
See, that's not really not showing respect, is it?
No, it's not.
You know, you show your respect by sort of doing the news on it, giving her a bit of coverage, and showing, you know, what
publicity.
What a good woman she was or whatever.
Yeah.
And then you move on to sport news or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I totally agree.
I don't like the way everything's morbid. I was thinking about it. It's like, you know, the way in birthday cards and that, people always put funny things in them. I think you should save things like that for funerals, for like funeral cards and that, and try and cheer people up at times when they're low. Do you know what I mean? Because on your birthday you're quite happy anyway, so you don't need someone putting a funny comment in a card. I think, you know, when you send a card...
What would you suggest?
Well, you know,
whoopee cushion, but on the vicar's chair. How would you liven it up in the funeral?
Just little things in the card. I mean, just writing stuff like, well, you know, at least you're still alive or whatever.
So as you're giving the eulogy,
that'd be good. So suppose someone's husband's killed in a car crash, you go around with some flowers and a little card, and it says, "At least you're still alive."
Well, maybe something funnier than that.
Well, maybe, like, if you got up to give the eulogy during a funeral, just wear a pair of comedy tits.
Yeah. Or those glasses that are eyes on sort of springs.
But why has everyone got to be so sad about someone dying?
No, what annoys me is that when you see the people on television, these sort of members of the public, and they're crying about the Queen Mother, who was sad when anyone dies, sad when anyone dies. She was 102. And, I mean, it's sort of like, I think they should cry.
Well, there's a picture in the paper today.
I don't understand it.
There's a picture in the paper today of, various people who were lining the funeral kind of route yesterday, and there's a picture of a very young child, maybe sort of 5 or 6, on the arms of her dad, and her head bowed, and it says a young girl there weeps for the Queen Mother. And I was looking at it, and you can tell she's just tired.
Well,
she's just tired and bored. It's so transparent that it's not crying. It's
most
just, what are we
doing when their nan dies?
Exactly.
You know, it's sort of like.
But what is a 5-year-old girl gonna be? Why is she gonna be crying? The Queen Mum said, "Oh, I can't believe it."
Yeah.
Teletubbies? No, the Queen Mum. Oh, not the Tweenies. No, it's all in a minute.
Yeah.
It's like,
oh dear.
I mean, I know. I'm sure, you know, I don't know much about her. I don't know if she was a great woman, and obviously, you know, it's always sad when someone dies. But it's like, it's interesting that there was a lot of tourists in that long line of people that are now queuing for hours upon hours to see her dying in state, because it's clearly just people who want to be a part of history.
Must be gutting if you're over from Sweden and you find out that, you know, the Queen Mum's died.
Oh, you must be devastated.
You probably don't want to carry on with your visit.
Exactly.
Really.
Okay, listen, Carl,
I think we've covered that.
what do you make of the, what do you make of the first genetically modified baby?
Oh.
Are you worried about this?
Do you know what did they do? What?
Let me see what it says here. It
Well,
says,
isn't it just choosing the, you know, eye colour?
well, this is the concern, isn't it? That in the future you'll be able to decide whether it's a boy or a girl, how intelligent it is, what it looks like, is it handsome, is it ugly? Obviously, no one will choose an ugly baby, and so on and so on and so on. And so it means that, you know, where will it lead? Where will it end, Carl? Are you concerned?
I've thought about this a lot.
What will us three look like in the future if they're being, you know, genetically modified beautiful people? What will we be like? How will we be considered in society?
True, yeah. But we've talked about this before, haven't we? About the cloning thing.
Yeah.
That's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But I don't think it matters, because at the end of the day, right, you might look like some other kid, but it's the way you're brought up that will change your features and the way you are, you know, your personality.
If you lie, you get a long nose, don't you?
Well, no, but listen, right, because I remember when we, you know, I was growing up on this estate.
This is gonna be good. Go on.
No, it's not. It's just an example of how this doesn't work.
Go on.
So we don't need to worry, sort of thing.
Sure.
Right?
Okay.
So I'm growing up on this estate, and there was this woman about 4 houses down. Right, it's a bit rough. All right.
Didn't fancy her.
Oh God, no. Right, but she had a baby.
Well, tell me about her first. I'm interested in this woman. Why was she?
It was a very.
She looked like a man in a
I
dress.
mean, I didn't grow up in a posh house or anything. And I'm not saying that if you live in a bit of a rough house, you're a bad person.
What did she look like?
But anyone can
Tattoos?
clean up.
Looked like Tony Green with a fag on.
They didn't clean up much, right?
Oh.
Which, even if you've not got a lot of money, you can still try and make a place look nice.
Yeah.
Right? But she didn't, and a kid used to take a horse into the house.
Sorry.
Whoa,
Whoa, Neddy. What do you mean, a kid used to take a horse into the house? Where did he get a horse?
Must have nicked it from somewhere. Must have done.
You seen a horse with it? No.
What, is that from outside the saloon round the corner?
Yeah, was it just tied up with a bit of
Right?
oh, that's great. Big Jake, I'm looking for it.
I'd been out.
Oh. No, sorry, let me get this. This was before the lynching stopped or after.
Where did he get a horse from? What do you mean he must have nicked it? His mum said, where'd you get that from? I bought it. Alright then. But keep it out the kitchen.
I don't want you going Catlin rustling.
Where did he get a horse from, Carl? And how long did he have it for? Was he leading it or riding it? Mum, open the door, I can't stop!
I can't stop it. Open the patio door as well,
Looks like we got us a runaway. What do you mean?
I don't know, but the thing is, they couldn't afford to buy one because they're not cheap. So I'm just guessing. Maybe that's wrong of me. But I think...
He had a horse?
Yeah, right, so...
That's why the family didn't have any money, they'd spend it on the horse.
No, I don't think, that's what I'm saying, I don't think they would have bought it. So anyway...
Yeah, it's wise to whisper, Carl, in case they're listening.
Yeah, and
they could be in the room next door.
It's not buying it, it's keeping it as well.
Oh, so I was like in the car with my dad, coming into the avenue, and you used to have to drive down it to turn round. And, and you know, sort of go back to our house. You had the traditional method of transport, And, the horse was in the lounge. Reading a paper? Just like walking around. Oh, God! What? And when I was doing it, I tried to earn myself some money once by flogging little flowers in plastic cups. What? This is genius! It just keeps coming. What do you mean you're trying to flog little flowers? What do you mean? Wait. Let's play a record. Let's play a record and come back to this, because the story's going to just unravel and unravel. It's going to go for hours. Let's play a track, Carl. Deeper, it's like an onion, isn't it? We've created a whole world here where there's a man living with a horse. Just walking around the lounge. I come from the West Country, I've never heard anything like that. I just think of a big sort of like orange carpet, and it's got a rediffusion telly, and this horse going, I'm fed up in here. Exactly. This is really... I am not taking the rubbish out again. Yeah. Right, play a record. Let's have Velvet Underground. We've got that lined up. Oh, yeah, the classic from the first album, I'm Waiting for the Man. Let's come back to the horse again, and Nico, which apparently peaked at a disappointing 171 in the US charts. Think of that. And that's obviously Lou Reed, the Velvet Underground, and Waiting for the Man. Yeah, great track. So, we were talking, we were doing White Van Man, and we got onto, genetically modified babies, but and somehow then Carl started telling a story about someone with a horse, and then he got onto, he was trying to make money selling flowers. Just do the flowers briefly. Well, hang on, I just want to recap slightly. So there was a family, and who had the horse in the family? It was... Because you lived on an estate in Manchester. So the mother was a right
pig, apparently. I don't know whether that's
you
relevant.
don't need to go that far.
But
what I'm trying to do is, like, make a picture for you so you understand.
What does she look like? Who did she look like?
Bit of a, and no disrespect to her, bit like Pauline Quirk.
Quirky, yeah.
Right?
Okay, I knew you were going to say that. Yeah. I knew it was going to be Pauline. Did she have any tats? Did she have any tattoos?
I've never got that close to it.
Okay, alright.
So who had the horse? Was this her son or her husband?
No, her daughter.
Her daughter had stolen a horse.
Yeah, from, I don't know where, there was I think it was some stables down the road or something.
And they kept the horse in the house with them?
They kept it in the house.
Did they
didn't
get
have it
caught?
for long.
No.
So, and you said you were in the house one day and you saw the horse in there?
What happened was, I was, they did this thing at school about raising money for charity, right? For some local charity. And they said you can do anything to raise money, and they came out with all these ideas, and I thought, that's good.
What was the charity?
Well, I don't know, I thought, forget the charity.
Yeah, that's just a good money-making idea.
So,
you're a charity.
So, so I asked my mum for some, 'cause she used to have a lot of flowers around the house.
Sure.
I said, can I just take some snippings off them? And, I'll go and buy some plastic cups. And, got some soil out of the garden, planted the bits of plants in them.
Yeah.
Got a tray.
Yeah.
Had about 25 plants on it, selling them for 25 pence each.
Excellent. Did you sell any?
Yeah, so loads.
Did you just cut, you didn't just cut them and stick them in the soil?
Yeah, they want to survive.
Oh.
But I think people sort of thought, well, good on him for trying. But anyway, so I went round to theirs, because I thought their house could do with a bit of colour and stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's a bit rough. So as I went...
The horse went, thank God for that breakfast. They've been feeding me kitty cat.
So I got up to the door, and they opened the door, and it was one of them houses where... no carpet.
Yeah, a horse in the living room.
You know.
We've all been there.
And the horse was walking around the living room. Oh. I looked quite happy and everything, because I always say that about animals.
Black Beauty was on. Yeah.
Well, think about it, right? If you were a horse, where would you rather be? In a little wooden hut with a load of hay, or in like a house with a
central heating,
3-piece suite, and a telly and that?
Telly and that.
No, but I was saying this the other day.
And an Atari,
right? I was walking through London.
Commodore 64, rubbish.
Exactly.
Walking through London with Suzanne, right? Yeah. And you know, like homeless people always have dogs. And she said, oh, I hope she looks after it. I said, that dog is happier than most dogs.
Right.
Because people always walk past and give it a pat on the head.
Yeah.
It's with its owner all the time.
Yeah.
It's out in the open, it's not locked up in a house.
Yeah.
It doesn't eat, but other than that.
No, it does eat though, they're always alright. So that's what I was saying, I think this horse was doing alright for itself. Do you know?
Well, not many horses have got their own house.
Exactly.
For a start, yeah.
But anyway, that's by
the by.
Yeah, so anyway, this family, who's a bit, what we were talking about, it was about cloning.
Genetically modified kids and all that stuff,
Right, now what I'm saying is, you could say, you know, right, Steve, you could have a baby, right? And Ricky could see it and say, God, I want one that looks like that.
Yeah.
Right?
It could happen, Rick.
So...
Come on, work with him.
So you take it to the doctors, and I don't know what they do, they inject it with something or whatever.
Yep, that's how it's done.
Yeah.
And, get a little baby, and there it is, it looks the same. Now the thing is, you separate, you both go off and do your own things.
Yep.
Right? Now, you look at Stephen, you look after your baby.
Yeah.
You treat it well, you give it good food and
I'm a good dad.
all the vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
Ricky just gives it cheese. Right? So, then it changes its looks, it goes a bit fat. You know, it gets tired easily, and that sort of thing. Now, when this family...
Why am I just feeding a baby cheese?
Right, this family had a horse in their house.
Yeah.
They had a little baby. And my mum went round and said, you're not going to believe this, but it's a beautiful looking baby. Right?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, you know. And the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, they didn't really look after it. And I'm not saying, like, abusing it, but it used to run around, it used to play out till, like, 10 at night.
Yeah.
It used to chase cars.
Right.
It was a bit...
Did it have hooves?
No. Chase cars!
Right.
What sort of kid chases cars? Oh, God.
No.
Was it called Rover? Did it catch sticks?
It's Liam, it was called, right?
Right.
Now, the weird thing is, it was a good-looking kid, but as time went on, and all that, like, not eating properly and its hair was all patchy.
It's not Liam Gallagher, is it?
And chasing cars and that, and it became an ugly kid.
It's definitely Liam Gallagher.
And that's what I'm saying, right? You can clone all you like, but at the end of the day, it's how you brought up.
Brilliant. Wow.
What a life.
Wow. That was a hell of a point.
Oh, God.
But am I right?
You're always right, Carl.
Finally, White Van Man, What do you make of the fact that Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins?
Is that
a concern for you?
Is that true?
Apparently so.
Why?
Don't know.
Like it's easy to stack.
This is what the guy in the Sun has said. That should be interesting for... That should be... His comment on Sainsbury's are bringing in square tins is that should be interesting for meatballs. Ricky's just collapsed on the floor. Let's just play a song, Carl. I don't think even you can top that.
Carl, revisited. Still got Nick Cave to come, haven't we?
Absolutely.
Now, Carl, you read a quote book. What did you learn from it? Tell us some pearls of wisdom. Just keep it down to one or two, your favourite things and why you like them.
Right, well, you said just pick a couple.
Yeah.
Right? So I wrote a couple down last night. What I did, so they weren't boring, right? I've sort of...
Don't think you can ever be boring,
No, but what I've done, I've took like different ones. So I've took a good one that I think, that's a good quote, that was worth putting in a book. I put one that isn't really a quote, so I don't understand it.
Oh, yeah.
One that isn't clever. and a funny one. So a bit of variation all out of one book.
Oh, how long did this take you? What did you do? Did you sort of like sit?
About half an hour last night.
And did you sit sort of like quietly at a desk or something?
No, just in the lounge with the telly turned down.
Oh, right.
Just to give a bit of light to the room. Just had it on but turned down.
Have you figured out lights yet?
So, so the first one, never heard of him. This guy called Dean Axon.
Right.
And this is a good one. He said, the memo is written not to inform the reader, but to protect the writer.
That's good, yeah.
Stuff, that's very good.
That's it, that's...
So it relates a lot to, office life and so on.
Yeah, modern world and that. Right, so then, I thought, so I wrote that down because I liked it, and that's what he said to do. Second one, isn't really a quote, it's more of a poem.
Okay.
So how does that work?
Well, that's okay.
Just read it.
Right, well, it's about suicide.
Okay.
Right? Razors pain you, rivers are damp, acids stain you, drugs cause cramp. Guns aren't lawful, nooses give, gas smells awful, so you might as well live.
Lovely.
That's from Dorothy Parker.
I tell you what.
It is, yeah.
I hate it. I hate that.
Why?
It's nothing to me, that.
I think
and what is just a sort of weak, shallow piece of mock comedy.
This is why I did it in that order, because that's what I thought.
It's sort of like a zany vicar would write from living in Frome when he's about 55 and get it published in the... I hate it.
Alright, so you're saying you're not a fan of Dorothy Parker's work, right? Now the next one, Oscar Wilde.
Yeah.
Right, he's known, isn't he?
Yes.
Look what he comes up with. All art is quite useless.
Well, that's... What's up with that?
Well, it isn't added art.
No, I know, but it's... Go on, next.
But how has art helped you? How has it been useful to you?
It was a bit of a... It's one of the only things I like doing at school.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? When I made that little clay man, fixing a car.
Yeah.
You made a clay man fixing a car, I'd forgotten about that.
How can he... I think that's stupid. And especially that it's gone in a book.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It's easy to diss things.
Yeah, it's harder to do exactly right.
I don't think art is useless, by the way. But you don't have to agree or disagree with some of these things. Some of them are, sometimes it's just their thoughts put eloquently or poetically, isn't it? And it's just,
just to provoke a reaction as much as anything.
Yeah.
Well, and the good one, Ozzy Osbourne.
I mean, sorry, but just go back there. The irony is that is art. That he was an artist, wasn't he? So,
but okay, so you don't like Oscar Wilde, but you prefer Ozzy Osbourne.
Yeah, go on.
Ozzy Osbourne, cracking one this, funny and educational. I bit a head off a bat the other night. It was like eating a crunchy wrapped in a chamois leather.
Genius. Oh, you're right, Carl. Yeah.
So there's.
What do you like about that? The way he's described what it is like.
I think, if someone. I mean, you can imagine what it's like, because I like crunches.
Yeah.
And a chamois leather's really chewy, so you can imagine that's like the skin.
So you like his descriptive writing?
The crunchy bit is like the bones and that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
But you know, Carl, it's interesting because you've analysed Aussie there, and in a way, that is the first step on maybe doing a new English GCSE.
Yeah,
being able to study
you said why you liked it. You said because it describes you've never eaten about yourself.
Yeah, but my teacher, Mrs. Kane, if I would have come into school with, you know, a quote by Ozzy Osbourne, she wouldn't have been happy.
Really?
Do you know what I mean? And that's the difference between
She'd go, right, Carl, get your horse and go home.
Well, listen though, we were talking about other quotes.
Yeah.
Neil Armstrong.
Yeah.
Do you know his one?
Yeah.
What, one giant leap for mankind?
Do you know it wasn't meant to be that? You know, it says, it's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, right?
Yep.
It was meant to be, this is one small step for a man.
Right.
I.e. me, the individual, on a microcosmic level, one giant leap for mankind. And he mucked it up, because if you say, this is one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, man there means mankind.
I know, it's embarrassing.
So he shouldn't give people, he's not a trained actor.
That's true.
He's more of an astronaut, to be honest.
Has he won any awards, Rick?
No, there are no awards. Is he BAFTA nominated? Don't think so.
Well, listen, right, he said another quote as he got back into the rocket. Have you heard about it?
Go on.
Well, we're running out of time, and I'm just wondering whether it's worth saving as a bit of a teaser for next week.
What did Neil Armstrong say as he got back into the rocket?
Yeah.
Is it going to be
away?
Something like, that was boring, wasn't it? The mic's not still on, is it?
Yeah.
They're not still listening.
Well, that's what I was saying to you. He could have said that, and it would have still gone down.
Keys.
It would have still gone down as an amazing quote, wouldn't it?
Well, listen, I think you should save it, Carl.
You tosser, I was meant to go
No,
first.
I'll tell you what we'll do, Carl. We'll squeeze it in before the end of the show, because Ricky, you got to play your song for the lovers.
Oh,
we should play this.
I don't think we'll fit it in. We might have to save it.
Don't worry, we'll see what we can do.
Well, next week, by the way, you've got happiness quotations, a collection of thoughtful words and beautiful paintings. I'll just give you an example of one. Happiness is a perfume you can pour on others you cannot pour on others without getting a few drops on yourself. It's lovely that, isn't it?
Brilliant.
You can't be happy with that. This is Nick
quick.
Cave and the Bad Seed, from the Boatman's Call. It's a beautiful song. Any song that starts off, I don't believe in the interventionist God is alright by me. Well, that's it. We've run out of time.
We have indeed.
So no time for, Carl's quote. That'll have to come next week.
Yeah, we'll save that for next
Neil
time.
Armstrong. Well, I hope you, enjoyed it. Goodbye.
Alright, Rick, come on, sound a bit chirpier. It's not that depressing.
Well, yeah.
Sports next. You know how excited you are?
Go on.
You love the sport, do you?
New Order, and here to stay on XFM 104.9. Well, we're here to stay, aren't we, Steve?
True enough.
Well, for another 4 weeks anyway, then we're off. The 4 more
right.
shows. They'll have to order a new DJ. Alright?
That was genius.
Hey?
Oh, wow,
I'm
it's as simple as that.
I'm Ricky Gervais, Steve Mitchell, and Karl Pilkington.
Oh, man.
Did anyone, read the, Guardian yesterday? It was Steve's big we were interviewed together.
I've never been interviewed before in the paper. I've certainly never had my photo in a national
We were very
paper
excited. We loved the interview. It was talking about our top 10 albums between us. We loved it. We talked really fast, like school kids. We were excited. It was a great interview, and all the way through, it was Ricky Gervais with his writing partner, Steve Mitchell.
Stephen Mitchell. It's
He
not
was
even
gutted.
Night Merchant.
He phoned me up the night before and he was gutted. I know, it's awful. And it was big letters and just all the way through, and the caption, and it's just like, oh, God.
But it's embarrassing, do you know what I mean? It's embarrassing because it's like I was trying to get in the paper, I couldn't believe my luck. And then that just draws attention to the fact that I'm not a celebrity, and consequently they can't even remember my name.
But the worst thing was that, one of my favourite albums of all time, I said in there, was, Blood on the Tracks by Bob Dylan. And I said, because, you know, I think one of the most beautiful songs ever is If You See Her, Say Hello. And of course these people were sort of transcribing it from, you know, a dictaphone. It came out, my favourite song of all time was If You See a Sailor.
If you see a sailor. Oh, hello. Fruity.
Oh, Bob Drillboyd's, up on the trap with, where's the sailor gone to? With Ricky Gervais and Stephen Mitchellings. Oh.
I don't know, they must have thought my name was Mitchell all along. They obviously never knew.
The evidence is there.
But I don't know why, it was like they reported in the paper that we'd been nominated for a Sony, and it said, Ricky Gervais, who hosts the breakfast show on XFM, and it's that sort of, it's just guessing. It's like, presumably someone's gone, does he host the breakfast show? Someone's gone, yeah. And that's their research done.
Yeah, but there was a thing about, The Office set in Swindon. That's someone going, I'm just writing an article about The Office. Where's it set? Swindon, I think. Is it?
Yeah.
Okay, that'll do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even we research the show now and again, don't we?
Yeah.
Even we look things up. Well, actually, people phone in. Usually that fella. What's that fella's name that calls in who's not got the website? He's got a funny name.
Oh.
Gilwell or something.
James.
Phone in if you remember what his name is.
Yeah.
James at Lose Control.
Yeah, what's his surname though?
Oh, for goodness sake, this is just going to be interesting to him.
Yeah.
And his friends.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You remember?
We better play another record.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, if
Johnny
you like
Mango.
Mango, that's it, yeah. Now, if you like Elvis Costello's Alison, or maybe
Rick, I do.
Freeze, My Brother Jake,
One of my favourites.
stay tuned. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah. It's only taken, what is it, 5 years?
Yeah.
Now you're finally as good as Foxy.
Coming up,
Yes.
that anecdote that Carl didn't get to last week about Neil Armstrong.
Right.
I can't wait. It's because he took 3 links telling us about the horse.
Yes, of course.
The horse. Think of that.
Wow.
I went out with Carl on Thursday night.
Right.
Right. It was one of the most enjoyable nights. We just, went out for about, 5 or 6 pints, a little crawl, and adventures happened around Carl.
Yeah.
And just me sitting talking to him was just incredible. I'm thinking that a competition would be win a pint with Carl.
Yes. That'd be a hell
They
of a
just
gig.
have to go for a pint and they can ask him anything they want.
Yeah.
He's just great. We met my friend, didn't we? Tell him all about that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? What?
Did you enjoy it as much as Ricky, Carl?
Yeah, there was things I learned as well, which was good.
Okay.
You know his mate Robin, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. You'll discuss that later.
I'll tell you later about.
He's got all his near-death experiences to come. Win a pint, and of course coming up, Carl's homework was the quotes, and Carl's come up with a great idea to show that anyone can do quotes. He's invented a thing like faking it, where he's got 2 real quotes,
Right.
and he's made one up.
Okay.
And he's going to fool us. I bet we won't be able to. Oh,
Brilliant. Sorry, what was the challenge last
look at him looking at us. What's the matter with you?
It's just like before, you were like, no, this is good for you. But
What?
now it's turned into a game.
At your expense?
Yeah.
Have you only just dawned on you?
Carl, well, I'm joking. It's great, honestly. It's really good.
What was the Carl challenge last week? You said it, I thought we did the quotes last week.
No, but I gave him a book on
Happiness.
happiness. It's all about happiness
Right.
and what the pursuit of happiness, and it's in sort of like quote form and everything. But Carl's gonna do a couple of ones and faking it just to show. I mean, because he's been coming up with fables all week as well. Now he comes up with something, he goes, "That's a fable, isn't it?" And he tells me so he's getting good. Now,
To it all. Should we play another track? What have you got? Something? You got something fresh?
I
haven't you?
brought in I saw Elvis Costello and Jonathan Ross a couple of weeks ago, and he did just an acoustic version of Alison, and I forgot what an amazing song it is, and it's just, he's fantastic, he's the man. Listen to this guitar sound, it's so beautiful. My aim is to provide quality entertainment of a Saturday. That was
classy.
Elvis Costello and his attractions, and Alison on XFM 104.9. I'm Ricky Gervais.
Steve Mitchell here, and Karl Pilkington.
Oh, well, isn't it?
It's going alright, it's going alright. I, obviously been doing some acting, as you know, I mentioned it last week, doing this sort of comedy pilot. This week, Karl, you're gonna be loving this. I've been doing stunts. I swear to God, I've been doing my own stunts with the guy that once made Christopher Reeve fly as Superman, right? And I was doing stunts. I had to do a thing where my character has to commit suicide. I don't think we didn't bring that up. Were you anywhere near that horse? No? Fine, let's carry on. And, my character has to commit suicide, and he has to sort of leap off a building. So the first shot,
that's for something for comedy.
well, we were up on a roof, and obviously they had the crash mats and stuff, and I had to kind of leap off and land on the mats and stuff. And obviously I was petrified the whole time because I was wearing my glasses, petrified that they might get broken. So I was like not really doing it properly, and kind of leaping like what, you know, people when they can't dive into a swimming pool, and so they put that one foot out first to sort of break their fall.
Was it you that told me that you could never get into fights?
No, I can never get into fights or go in a mosh pit because of my glasses. I've missed out in life because I can't, because if I was in a fight and I say, come on then, you are, you know, and I was in a pub or something, they just have to whiff off the glasses, just knock them off, I'm done for. I got nothing.
Really short-sighted, are you?
Yeah, but anything's an advantage in a fight, isn't it? And the fact that they're just a blur is bound to hamper my otherwise brilliant, you know, ninja skills. So yeah, I've never got into a fight, never been in a fight at all, I've never, as I say, been in a mosh pit.
On the wire.
So this was making me sort of a bit worried, and anyway, so then I think, well fine, I've done my stunt, and I did it, and everyone clapped, they were pleased with it, and the guy who said I was very good. So then they drive us to the next location, right, I'm thinking I've done my stunts now. There's a crane, I think, what's going on here? Now they need to shoot me, like, I've already done the stunt where I've sort of leapt off the building. Now they've got to actually see me falling, right? So I have to get strapped in with this huge belt, and they clip wires onto me, and they hoist me about 30, 40 foot into the air, on this wire, and I have to, and then they drop me at great speed, and I have to scream and shout. You know, it was partly acting. And,
Glasses on?
Glasses, by this time I'd managed to get some wire fixed to my glasses so they wouldn't come off my head. I assured
They were stunt glasses. They were doing their own stunts.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So they hoist me into there on this thing. They do a couple of sort of demo versions, you know, and just to gradually ease me up higher and higher so I kind of become acclimatized to it. And, they get me about 30 feet up, and they got these huge crash mats, like those great big ones you always see because stunt people have. And they set up the camera and stuff down below, and while I'm up in the air dangling there, they removed those crash mats, and they replaced them with those really thin ones that you always see, like, teenage gymnasts using on Blue Peter. Do you know what I mean? The really thin ones they used to have at school, right? And I'm looking down at this, and I'm thinking, now, they may as well have shouted up, if you fall, you're done for, but we might be able to protect the equipment. Do you know what I mean? It was so rubbish.
But you weren't going to land on the floor, presumably.
Well, the idea was that the wire would stop that.
Oh, I see, but there was no that was their safety.
That was the safety net.
Why did they not leave the real ones in?
Because they had to, I don't know, for the shot and stuff, they had to be able to do it. But anyway, what was particularly joyful is one of the other actors pointed this out, right? This is the, this is the health and safety statement from the stunt guys, right? And they obviously have to write up this health and safety statement about how they do it. And it says, we confirm that we have proper safety policies, procedures to comply with the Health and Safety Act 1974, and that we will not do anything which compromises the health, safety and welfare of your production crew, actors or members of the public. If the above situation changes, we'll advise you immediately. I mean, if they think that maybe they do want to hurt members of the public, look at that fat one over there, just try and hit her and bring him down.
Don't worry about that one. Don't worry. She can take it. She can take it.
But, so that reassured me, obviously, and, now my whole body's racked with pain. Limbs, arms, head, neck. Unbelievable.
Well,
is the shot worth having?
Probably not.
You'll wish you
Do you know what the cameraman whispered to me? The cameraman whispered to me, he'll probably never use it.
Yeah, Steve, you'll wish you hadn't told that wimpy tale when you hear just three random tales of near-death experiences that Karl told me.
Right.
Coming up. I mean, honestly.
Really?
At least you had stunt people and crash mats.
Yeah.
You got paid.
Yeah. The things that he got up to, just through stupidity.
Well.
Will put you what? What one of them wasn't through stupidity?
Cakes.
I'm already excited.
The cake one?
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Sorry, you had a near-death experience involving a cake?
Hold on, I've got three. I've got the paper round, the nicking slate, and the Mr. Freeze. What's the cake one?
Yeah, I suppose. Look at the cream cake.
Oh! Yeah.
Right, now you're talking in riddles. Can we have these next?